Hello, everyone. I know it's been a couple of days, so I'm back to talk about this sugar detox, this sugar fast, talk about some of the things that go along with this life of sugar. I'm still stuck on the fact that the average American consumes 150 to 170 pounds of sugar a year. I'm stuck on that because that's literally a whole person. That means that we're consuming another whole person's worth of sugar in our diets. Think about that. A lot of us talk about weight. And one of the things that sugar does is it helps us gain weight, but it also helps us retain weight. I think about the fact that when we just stop drinking sodas, if you just make a pact that you're going to stop drinking sodas for like 6 months, you'll find that you'll quickly lose 10, 15 pounds if you just stay away from it and don't drink sweet tea and don't drink lemonade, all the good stuff with all the sugar in it. I stopped drinking Kool-Aid a long time ago because I quit making it. But I can remember growing up, my dad made the Kool-Aid, and baby, it was sweet. It was good and sweet. So when I thought about that, I think about how many things that we add sugar to. Coffee. I like a little bit of coffee with my sugar because I like my coffee black and sweet. So one of the things that I took away from myself was coffee because I said, you know what? If you can't drink it blackity black, because no sugar, and I don't like cream in my coffee, I can't have it at all. To me, that's blackity black coffee. No sugar, no cream, no nothing. And sometimes there are things that we just need to take out normally. And there are habits that we need to develop. And the habit that I want all of us to take away from this is this: reading the food labels of the things that you purchase, of the things that you feed your kids, the things that you feed yourself. Getting into the habit of reading food labels and becoming familiar with the strange things that are a part of your food labels. High fructose corn syrup, that's sugar. Sucralose, that's sugar. Looking at the sodium content. I look at I know most of us that have been to college, lived a dorm life, all of us probably have had ramen noodles, right? But if you look at the sodium content of the ramen noodles, was the cheaper price really worth it in the end? Especially if we develop high blood pressure along the journey. Was that really worth it being cheaper? No, I don't think so. So, as we get back to talking about sugar, one of the chapters, as a matter of fact, it is chapter 11 in, no, it's actually chapter 12, day 12, where she talks about food triggers. Whew. This particular chapter was tight, but it was right. And she talked about how um things can trigger us emotionally. External things can trigger us emotionally, and it triggers us internally, and we go binge eat whatever that thing is that we love. But she put it like this. She says, I share this now to convey that I understand what it means to be triggered internally by our emotions and triggered externally by our circumstances. I was like, okay, so you're going to slap us on one side and turn around and slap us on the other side. Triggered internally by our emotions and triggered externally by our circumstances. And I thought, wait, Basically, she's saying your circumstances trigger you externally, while your emotions are triggering you internally. So now you pretty much are double triggered. You double triggered by your food that you love, that you run to. And it talks about how the mental health societies have said that binge eating is the most common eating disorder in America today. And I think back on when eating disorders first started. The only ones that we heard a lot about was the anorexia and bulimia, which was anorexia, meaning that they didn't like to eat a whole lot. And what they would do is they would eat a meal and then make themselves throw up. Well, now binge eating has outran all of that, which were the original eating disorder. So now binge eating is now considered an eating disorder. And when I thought about that, I was like, wow, my emotions triggered me to eat a whole pint of Haagen-Dazs butter pecan ice cream. Wow. And I can remember saying to myself, what is going on with you that you feel like it's okay to eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream every night? What is the problem, ma'am? Something else is going on because you don't care about the weight you might gain by eating a pint of ice cream every night. You don't care about the fact that your blood sugar is probably on fleek by eating this pint of ice cream every night. So, what's really going on? Not realizing that it's a mental thing. And she talks about how perhaps your food triggers are related to your sensitive feelings. And you use food to comfort yourself each time you feel wronged or angry. I said, ouch, because there was a time that it did. Eating that pint of butter, that pint of ice cream every day, it made me feel good in some type of way. So I didn't even pay attention to the fact of the other things that could go along with that that would make me feel bad, such as developing type 2 diabetes, sugar overdoses, and eating regular high amounts of sugar increases the risk of us developing type 2 diabetes. So eating a pint of Haagen-Dazs butter pecan ice cream every night predisposed me to type 2 diabetes. Now, why in the world would I continue to do that? Because my emotions were such that I didn't care. Sheesh. That's what goes along with food triggers. I think about I used to love to watch My 600-Pound Life, right? Because in my mind, I could not imagine how someone could get to that size. But had I kept eating a pint of Haagen-Dazs butter pecan ice cream every single day for a period of years, that would have been me. So what I had to do was to step back and say, listen, girl, why are you doing this? What is it that has you doing this every day? What is the emotion that's tied to you eating this Haagen-Dazs butter pecan every night, a whole pint? Well, one of the problems was Food Line kept putting it on sale 2 for $7. Okay, so it wasn't Food Line fault because I would go in there and get it, right? But it sounded good when I rationalized it in my mouth, in my mind. Okay. Oh, Food Line got it on sale, 2 for $7. But that doesn't mean that I got to go in there and buy it. But I could rationalize that behavior because it's on sale. Just because it's on sale, you don't have to buy 10 pints. And even if you buy 10 pints, you don't have to eat them all in the week. That was my excuse. I can talk about me. I can't talk about you, but I can talk about me. So She talked about how she would pray Psalm 139 when asking the Lord to give me spiritual vision to pinpoint my own food triggers. I needed this book back then so that I could get a better grip on why I was doing this. I was doing this because I was unhappy. I was doing this because I felt some type of way about me. I was doing this because whatever the reason may be, because each one of us has a reason that would make us have food triggers and to make us overeat a thing that we know while we're eating it, it's not good for us. But yet we'll continue the behavior. Like I said before, I could drink a 2 liter, so 2 liter Pepsi in a day's time. What that meant is I didn't drink any water. Our body is made up of almost 80% water. We have to drink water. Otherwise, we will become dehydrated. All the other things that we try to drink are not going to fit the bill. We need to drink water. And I was telling someone we need to all drink at least 64 ounces of water a day. If you any size. And it won't hurt you if you drink a little too much. Now, I'm not talking about getting close to water intoxication because I promise you, as human beings, most of us are not even in danger of that because most of us don't drink enough water. Many of us will drink a Starbucks coffee in the morning, then we'll also get the Starbucks spritzer or whatever that thing is. Then we'll get some other kind of drink and discover we have worked an 8-hour day and we have not had not one single ounce of water for the day. So, what is something that you consume in binges that gives you comfort, that is sugar laden? I come from a family of ice cream lovers. So that's one of the reasons that I think I love ice cream. But my love for ice cream was not the reason that I was motivated to eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs every day. There was something else that triggered me to do it. Just like some people gamble, some people are shopaholics, some people are smokers. There is something that drives us to those behaviors, to develop those habits that potentially are dangerous for us. And remember, God made us habits, hurts, and all, but we belong to Him still with all of these things. But He loves us enough that He can help us break those habits that are not especially good and kind to us. So think about that. What happens when you decide that you're going to eat a whole bag of cookies? Let's talk about Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies are coming earlier and earlier and earlier in the year. There was a time that you wouldn't even think about a Girl Scout cookie until March, mid-March, towards the end of March. Y'all, I already got 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. And it's just January. Them Girl Scouts is hooking us up earlier. Most churches are on a fast. Most people have a resolution that they're not going to eat as much junk food. All of these things. And the Girl Scouts are trying to trip us up. Girl Scouts now, the cookies are out now. I already got a couple of boxes. What in the world? We usually have until March, mid-March, end of March, before we get the Girl Scout cookies. Well, girl, they're going to be in front of the grocery stores by then, I'm sure, if they haven't already sold out of the cookies. And I am like, Lord have mercy. We're all trying to do something different and better to set up the rest of our life for the rest of the year. And the Girl Scouts are already trying to derail us. Are you going to fall for the plot? Or are you going to continue to say, nope, I have the cookies, but I'm not going to eat them? It'll be a minute before I even think about eating them. So I put them where I put everything else that I want to stay fresh, in the refrigerator. And some of them you can actually freeze. But I say that to say this. If you're a person that can sit down and binge eat a thing, and I've heard of people binge eating Girl Scout cookies, buying 20 boxes, and they can binge eat them and they'll be gone in a couple of months at the most. And the kids ain't ate none because you hid them from the kids. We have to do better, because none of us want to develop and end up with type 2 diabetes, do we? We do not. As my hashtags usually say when I'm working out, I'm running from diabetes. We don't want heart disease. We don't want hypertension. We don't want anything that's associated and can be spurred on by sugar. So, with that being said, we're going to continue to watch our sugar intake. We're going to continue to try to detox from sugar. If you just happen to fall along the wayside, get up, brush yourself off, start again tomorrow. None of this is something that I want you to look at as a penalty. Or I don't want you to beat yourself up if you happen to eat a cookie. Not all the cookies, just a cookie. For me, a problem is bread. So I have done my best to stay away from bread, because bread turns into sugar, but it's a weakness for me. I told y'all I love a Hawaiian roll. Let that joker be good, fresh, and soft. I can just ball them up and eat them. I can remember being a little girl. I love sunbeam bread. That's what we had back then, but that's what we purchased. Wonder, sunbeam. And when it was really, really fresh and really, really soft, y'all, you could peel the edges off and ball it up and eat it just like it was a piece of candy. It was just as lethal as a piece of candy, especially if you ate half the loaf. That would be me, especially if it was fresh. My parents would wonder what happened to the bread if it was good and fresh. Your daughter has balled it up and ate it. That's where the bread is. So continue. Those of you that are doing the sugar detox, sugar fast, whatever you want to call it, continue to walk along with this. Try to drink at least 64 ounces of water a day. Get you 30 minutes of exercise a day as we also detox. And you'll see and understand how you feel much better. You feel better. You're not nearly as sluggish. You don't have the peaks and the valleys that you were having before while you were consuming ridiculous amounts of sugar. So stay focused, stay on the journey, watch your food triggers, maybe figure out what your food triggers are, and know that you're on a journey to the best possible version of yourself. And it's going to be good in the end. By the way, I have another masterclass, Quietly Connected, Networking Success for the Introvert, coming up on February the 3rd. If that is you, come hang out with us on February the 3rd. I promise you will not be disappointed. You will find some things to help you and some tips, tricks to help you become better at networking and not becoming overwhelmed by being in a room full of people, feeling like you have to talk to every single person, because you absolutely do not. That's February 3rd, 10 a.m. Quietly Connected, Networking Success for the Introvert. Take care. I'll see you again later. We're going to continue this sugar battle that we're on so that we can get to become the best version of ourselves. All right? Take care. Bye bye.